What's going on, everybody? It's Davey from the 80s, and you are now entering the Cinema Chop Shop, so park your ass right there. And while you're there, don't forget to hit the like, the share, the subscribe button. Also, if you check the link below, you'll see a Patreon account. If you click, you become a member. All you got to do is try to recommend movies and music and trailers for me to react to, so click the link. Now, with that being said, we're here today to review or recap or just have an after show. I just finished episode 14 of Your Honor, Bryan Cranston show, and I must say, this show is setting up for something big. Now, the biggest critiques that I've seen of this show so far is that so far it's been kind of slow. And I am here to say that I understand your critiques and I understand why you're worried, but at the same time, it's building up to something. But I am a little worried that we are into episode 4 and we haven't progressed a little bit more. Now, I believe it might be 10 to 12 episodes. We're not even at the halfway point yet. But if we're still at the halfway point around then, and it still feels like this, then I would start to worry. But again, I feel like they're setting up something big. Think about what we just seen in this episode. So let's just go ahead and dive right into it. So the beginning of the episode has Bryan Cranston's character riding along with Jimmy Baxter in a car, and he drops him off at his mother-in-law's house, and of course he knows where she lives, right? It's just, he's paying attention, he's watching him. Come on, like, he has you under his thumb. So you already knew that was going to happen. Now, Rosie Perez's character, who I believe her name is Olivia, she is continuously monitoring Michael's character, Michael, all the time, at every time, because she's trying to use him in order to get the Baxter family. Now, this is what I'm saying about how this show is setting up for something big. I think this show is setting up for a universe outside of New Orleans. Come on, we went to Houston and we're talking about crime syndicates that are tied to the East Coast. That's where Olivia is stationed. And she's talking about trying to knock down them organizations over there. And then also we have the character, Gina's dad, I forgot his name, who's been hiding out off a coast, in a small island on the coast of freaking Italy. And apparently he's like a big badass. So yeah, again, this is world building. This is world expanding. I think the show is basically setting up for the future, and it's a chess move. A lot of people are going to critique it because it's not moving as fast as the other show, but at the same time, the other show was just supposed to be one season. Now that they have said they want to continue this show, you have to build, and everybody has to be patient and allow them to do that. The way that I'm seeing it, I'm looking long-term. If you're looking at the long-term prospect of this TV show, these episodes are very important, because what you don't want to do is you don't want them to set up plot points later in the future. You want them to set them up early so that you kind of see, okay, things that you can refer back to. Okay, yeah, I remember they set this up in this season. I remember they said this in this season. Okay, this makes sense, versus this just happening point blank out of nowhere, like we've seen with so many other TV shows where things just happen just because of plot. Right now, they're planting the seeds because later they will sprout into something else, which I am super on board with, by the way. But again, so we open the episode with that. Michael's of course, he's being monitored and critiqued and grilled by Olivia's character, and she wants him to infiltrate the family because she wants him to take them down. She's using him as a stool pigeon, but she's saying that, you're more valuable to me than you think. And I think she observed the situation that happened with between Michael and Jimmy and how he handled that situation. She sees that he could be very cunning at times, and he could think on his feet, which is another aspect to why he's important to her. And we'll kind of dive back into that a little bit later. But yeah, so we fast forward a little bit. They're trying to get him ready to go to Jimmy Baxter's 50th birthday party, which obviously is a setup. I wouldn't have went, but that's just me, though. This is obviously a setup, and Fia's character comes. She obviously wants a relationship with somebody. She can't have this relationship with her family because her family are conniving pieces of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though they preach this family stuff, at the same time, they're onto something completely different, right? And it's funny because Gina feels like Fia's character is more like the dad, and then Gina feels like Carlo is more like her, which is very interesting, very interesting. But anyway, moving on. We see this relationship developing between Michael and Fia's character. Like, you just see it. It's blossoming, it's blooming. I kind of called it since the beginning. Once you saw her go to him, she finds Michael to be kind of like her attachment to Adam because Adam's untimely demise. So this is a way for her yet to keep a bond with Adam, and then also to allow her son Rocco in order to have also a relationship with Adam in some shape, form, or fashion, some sort of connection with him. But anyway, she cuts my man's hair. The Saddam Hussein joke was hilarious. I thought about hilarious, funniest joke ever. Anyway, because he did look like Saddam. So, he gets cleaned up, goes to the party. He has to invite Charlie because, Jimmy threatened him to, in a way. And Olivia is pressing the issue in a way. So, Charlie goes, and what happens is Jimmy kind of makes the situation awkward, but he basically welcomes Michael into the family. They take a picture with Gina's grandfather, right? No, Gina's dad, who's obviously some big shot crime organization dude. Because Gina keeps dropping these hints that her dad's just like this big shot mafioso. And her family just has this really big name that nobody can mess with. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just this big family. You know that Gina comes from a history of violence, bro. She comes from a family that probably put in hella work. Because she keeps saying, if this was my family, if my family was on this, then nobody would dare, you know what I'm saying? So you could tell that Gina has a lot of weight that her family pulls. But anyway, moving on along. There's a scene, like I said, between the mafioso boss and them, and they take a picture together. And I think Charlie's a little bit worried because he's in a picture next to this person who is obviously known for being like a crime syndicate person. And I think it's a way to kind of like tarnish or to taint his image with the people, because remember, he fucked them on that deal to buy that land. Well, not really fucked them, but yeah, I guess so. He screwed them out of that deal in order to get that land. So I think this might be some sort of way to kind of get back at them. But that's just my kind of like prediction for the future or whatever. Anyway, so fast forward, Fia talks to Michael, comforts him or whatever, apologizes to him and Charlie, and then eventually Jimmy sees this, and you see it building up the whole time. Like the whole time you see this animosity building up with between Jimmy and Michael, and it's not based on what happened with Adam, or it's not what happened with his son, who for some reason I forgot his name. This is all about him losing his daughter, and his daughter kind of going into the arms of another man. And it's not in the arms of other man as in like a love interest. It's as in she's seeing a father figure in Michael more so than she sees her own father, and he's jealous and he wants that. So he's lashing out and he's taking that out on Michael. But he's not going to do anything to Michael because he knows if anything gets done to Michael, then Fia will never forgive him. So we already know that he's not going to do anything to Michael. Michael at this point is untouchable, ladies and gentlemen, at least in the eyes of the Baxters. Moving on. So he gets tuned up downstairs by Jimmy and his goon. I believe his name is Frankie. And yeah, we have this very, very intense scene where Jimmy's just interrogating the crap out of Michael. And he's like, why did you get released from jail? And then Michael, this is what I'm talking about when Michael thinks on his feet. Michael's very cunning. He knows what to say. He literally tells the truth. I was trying to kill myself in jail and they didn't want my blood on their hands, even though that's not the case. He always uses a little bit of truth in order to get his point across. But that whole kill me now scene was legit. Like if Jimmy would have shot him there, Michael really would have wanted that. Michael don't want to live, right? Even though he has a freaking grandson, I don't think he's still too like caught up in the whole idea of like, I have things in this world that I need to really live for. He's getting out of that shell, but at the same time, I don't think he's so far removed from it that it's impossible for him to like go back into that shell, if you get what I'm saying. Anyway, we have this very intense scene between them two, and I believe that's the end of that arc. And then we go into the little Mo arc where last episode, he got into a fight with his cousin, Trey, I believe. They both end up in jail, and it's basically a race to whoever gets out first. If Trey gets out first, he's basically going to give the Puerto Rican guy the money, and he's going to get the weight or whatever. But he might end up getting killed in the process because, old dude don't like the weight because he's about pushing big numbers. He's not about pushing like small amounts. Anyway, so it's a race to see who gets out. Trey's calling his mom, begging her to take him out. We have the young man, forgot his name right now. I'm drawing a blank. But because he switched his name, and it's kind of weird hearing his new name Like, I'm not used to it yet. I'm definitely not used to it yet. But what is his name? It's gonna bug me. But anyway, I'm gonna just call him Little Dude for now. Oh, Eugene. There you go, Eugene. Eugene's character. He's basically begging Eugene's character, all right, take care of the money. But Eugene already knows what's up. Eugene even plays this really smooth scene where he holds onto his backpack because the dude that they made the deal with is like lingering around the backyard, and he's kind of coming in very threatening and looking for Trey. And the mom's like, dude, he don't live here. He ain't lived here for a long time. And he bursts through the house and he goes after Eugene and looks in his backpack because Eugene does this with the backpack. But Eugene was planning because he wants to see, like, okay, let me test this dude's temperature. Let me see if how hot he is right now. You know what I'm saying? So him storming in and doing that, Eugene automatically knows, okay, like this means that we are in trouble right now. And what I need to do is I need to get this bag out of this freaking house immediately. And that's what he ends up doing at the end of the episode. And he takes it back to Big Mo, right? And Little Mo's upset because he finally gets bailed out of jail because Big Mo sends the goons to get him out of jail. He gets out of jail. He thinks he's about to get smoked because the bag of money is not there. And basically, he dropped the ball. Big Mo told him, this is the last time you're going to disappoint me. You know what I'm saying? So he's about to get smoked right then and there. But, he's luckily spared by Eugene because Eugene took the money all the way back to New Orleans. How the hell did Eugene get back to New Orleans? I don't freaking know. But he found a way to go back to New Orleans and give Big Mo her money back. So kudos to him for doing that. But then he's also putting himself in harm's way because remember, the Baxters are looking for him. So he's going to have to find a way. If he stays in New Orleans, he's going to have to try to find a way to stay out of Dodge. But I believe that they're obviously going to have him somehow be revealed, and the Baxters find out, and then that's going to cause some sort of drama between Big Mo's family or Big Mo's gang and the Baxters, because they've been kind of building at this for a while. There's been a lot of animosity and tension building up about them, and Gina ain't letting that shit go about the fact that one of her men tried to shoot Carlo, but ended up killing Michael's son, Adam. So you know what I'm saying? Like they're telegraphing things, but at the same time, I feel like they're going to build up to it appropriately. And when it pops, it's going to be big. So, yeah. What did you guys think of the episode? I think that this is really good world building. I think that what they're doing right now is they're putting all the chess pieces on the board and setting something up for later. And also they're allowing the show to spread its wings and be able to expand. Because again, we can go into Houston, we can go into New York, we can go into one of them East Coast states, we could go overseas into Italy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like this can go very far. You get what I'm saying? And I'm digging it. I like it a lot. So I'm not bored watching the show. I mean, I like I said, I hear a lot of people complain and talk about the show ain't moving as quick as it did before. But again, I have to tell you, this was only supposed to be one season. Of course, the other show is going to move fast because if it's only supposed to be one season, you have to get to the freaking point. But now that this is a multi-season show, they can kind of get grounded. They can get into the writing book and they can start pinning out a good story. So allow them to do that. Stop being so antsy. Stop being so impatient. Just allow them to do the things. Enjoy what's going on and trust when I believe, trust the process. All right. So that's my recap. That's my after show. Let me know if you agree or disagree with anything that I said. Let me know in the comment section down below. Don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. You know what I'm saying? Help out the channel with your boy. Anyway, so you are now exiting the Cinema Chop Shop. Hope you guys are having a magnificent day. Adios, homies.